Welcome back to KickBack. We are at Lost Bandit Bike Co. today. We are proudly presented by CMHA Brant Haldeman Norfolk, and I'm now joined by my friend Cynthia. Cynthia, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Joining us today. Really appreciate you coming on to share your story. Your story is layered in trauma. Can you share your story, please?
Yeah, so I am the daughter of a residential school survivor and a very, very sexually, physically, emotionally abused mother. Those two people met and they had some kids and they passed that trauma on to all of us. So I grew up in abject poverty, on the reservation, no water. We moved a lot. We were evicted a lot because of my parents' addictions. And my father was extremely physically abusive because residential school was the place that took from him the ability to love. So growing up, it was fear and tension and constantly being on guard, you know, kind of that feeling where you're walking on eggshells all the time or you're walking onto a frozen lake just hoping it doesn't crack. And then at 14, I ran away from all that abuse and became homeless for about a year and, you know, experienced trauma and dated people that reminded me of my parents and ended up in the hospital almost dead by 18. And then at 19, my mother had a massive stroke from her addictions and I became her caregiver. Yeah, so it got pretty heavy for a long time. And then I took care of her for a long time until she lost her battle with cancer 7 years ago. And it's kind of just been what I do, yeah.
Right. And how has everything that you've experienced shaped how you show up in life for your family, for your friends, and the communities that you're a part of?
So I feel like everyone has a certain level of trauma, be that a small trauma, capital T trauma, and there's so many ways that we share those experiences. And I try really, really hard to listen to people and be there for people because growing up, I didn't have that.
Right.
I didn't have a community, I didn't have family, I didn't have friends. So I've tried to build that through my work, through my community and friends, and to try to just show up, you know, show up for people that need it, people that don't have partners or don't have family. And I think that learning through trauma what you can lack in your life can lead you to an incredible amount of gratitude for what you have, no matter how small that may be.
Right.
So moving through life, I look for ways. I look for joy, I look for gratitude, and I look for things in people to make them feel good and happy. If I see something, I say something. I'll say like, oh, you have pretty eyes today, or I like your shirt. And I just try to show up and help people feel noticed as much as I can.
Right, and I think that just really speaks volumes of who you are and just how you show up in the world, because I had no idea of what your story included until we started talking about this, and you said, I'd like to share, and I thank you for that. And just to see how you show up in the world, just how much your light shines in the communities that you're a part of, it's amazing that you do that for them.
Well, and it could have gone so many ways, right? We are in a world of turmoil and pain. We're also in a world of joy and beauty. And statistically, being an Indigenous woman, you know, I could have gone missing and been gone from this world, the child of addicts, abuse, all of that. So I think that after everything I've experienced, the fact that I'm here alone in any capacity is a blessing. Mm-hmm. And I try really hard to help people see that they are a blessing, because I truly feel like everyone on earth is. I feel like we have this part of us that only sees our trauma and only sees our pain and only sees the things we can't do or the ways that fear has gripped us because of past experiences. And we miss that part where we look at ourselves and see all of the beauty and all of the talent and all of the creativity and love that we just innately have.
Right, and it's very easy to get lost in that, especially in just how busy life is.
Yeah, like there's so much commotion, there's so much noise, social media, other people, expectations of you everywhere you go. So you can get really overwhelmed and really lost, and it's important that we take time to talk to each other about that, so that when we're feeling that way, we can give ourselves and each other a hug and say, you know what, it's okay that you feel overwhelmed. And that's a big part of it, is that self-compassion.
Right. And no, for the audience that's watching right now, and maybe it's somebody that has had a similar path to you, but maybe hasn't taken the steps to take on the world the way that you have, what would you share with them?
I would share with them that, first of all, you're not alone. Tragically, there's so much in the world that's there to harm us, and so many ways that we will be failed by those that we think should love us. And I think it's important to know that that doesn't make us unlovable. And it's important to remember that we are worthy of support and love and community and friends, and that there are people around us that want to be there for us, and that feeling vulnerable can be scary, but sharing does this beautiful thing. It tells us that we're surrounded by people that understand us. And sometimes when you feel alone and when you feel like nobody gets your pain, just talking to someone and them saying, oh my gosh, I get that. This happened to me too, can feel incredibly, incredibly supportive and loving, and create this bond with everyone around us. It doesn't have to be just you and me. We can sit and talk to groups of people, and we can laugh and joke and share about all the terrible things that have happened, and say, but you know what? We're here, and we're here together. And as long as we're here together and we can find people to talk to and share with, then we're never going to be alone.
Right, and that's such an important message, is that we aren't alone. And it really just takes, I think we all have different levels of opportunity with help and assistance.
Absolutely.
To be able to work on ourselves and to be able to choose how we show up for like that next generation, like for our kids. And we get the opportunity to be able to say, you know what, we can make this. If we didn't hear like that our father loved us, right? If that was something that we didn't hear, or our mom, we have the opportunity to change that and break that cycle with our own kids. And just how powerful that is to be able to do that. It's really special.
It's an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity to break a cycle of harm, and instead of harm, to add nurturing, caring love. We can take that to every generation, not just our kids, but to school kids, to kids in the yoga community, to teenagers, to everyone we see. Like, I teach in high schools when I teach yoga, and I see kids and I know they're going through it.
Right.
And I will sit and we'll meditate for an hour, and we'll lay them on the floor, and I'll say, your feelings are important and valued, and you are important and valued, and don't let anyone make you feel like what you're experiencing is not worth experiencing. And you can feel the deep sigh of relief that someone feels when they're allowed to share and they're allowed to just feel something.
Right. And I think this is the perfect moment to say, like, this is, you have permission. Your story matters, your voice matters, and how you show up to the world matters. And it's hard.
It's really
right?
hard.
It's really hard.
It's
and,
such a vulnerable place.
Yeah, right. And that if you're taking that opportunity to do that work, and you have your heart in the right place, it's worth to continue to fight to help break that cycle, whatever that might be. And it's just important to find those people that you can talk to.
Yeah, and it's great. We have Up Yoga here in Paris, and we have so many yoga communities, and we have high schools and youth programs and your programs, and just things where we can connect and say it's okay that we're in pain, because we can turn that pain into support. And it's a beautiful, beautiful gift, and there's always an opportunity. Vulnerability can be scary and hard, but once you feel safe to share, other people do too. And when we're all sharing, we can all take the stigma of feeling like we have to be strong, or we have to be on it, or we have to be just always capable all the time. And we can give ourselves a break, and we can give other people a break.
Right.
And I think that we need that break.
Right. And for you, you've had to show up your whole life. And it sounds like what you had done before was there from your parents, there was a lack of showing up. They didn't show up for you. So what does showing up mean to you now?
Showing up means to me being a safe space that my community can land on and feel held in. It's important to me to show up in the way that I wasn't shown up for. I think that a lot of times when you're experiencing all that trauma, what we do is we either go down a path of darkness, Or are we going on a path where we say to ourselves, I've experienced it, I don't want someone else to experience it. So what we can do is we can take that chance and we can say, okay, show up for people, be there for people, and try your hardest to just listen. You know, no one needs solutions. If you're not a professional, you can't give solutions, but you can listen and you can hold someone's hand. And you can say to someone, you know what, I'm sorry you feel like crap today, but your hair is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, like you can say your jacket is cool. You
Right.
you can just be there.
Right.
Sometimes just being in a space with someone that creates safety for them is all that they need.
For many people who have experienced like really deep trauma, it can be hard for them to have a voice. Or to feel like their story matters. What is it for you that helps you share your story, to use your voice, to help create those safe spaces?
I try really hard to look at the voice in my head that tells me I shouldn't. I try hard to pay attention to whose voice that is. Is that the voice of my dad? Is that the voice of an abuser? Is that the voice of someone who's been racist to me because I'm Indigenous? I look at the story in my head and the voice that says, you can't do this and your voice is not worth sharing. And I say, whose voice is that? And if it's not my voice, then why am I not?
Right.
So, and I say to myself, if I was a person that couldn't speak or didn't feel comfortable enough to share their story, would I want to hear someone else's story? Would it help me? And I think, you know what? That's important.
Right.
It's important that if you're someone like me that feels comfortable, I feel very comfortable, just like, sure, let's talk about it, right? Let's just get it out. Let's get yours out, let's get mine out. And I think if you're comfortable enough to do that, then do it, you know? It can have a tremendous impact on those around you. So whenever I think, oh, nobody wants to hear what I have to say, I just examine where that comes from. Is that years of trauma? Is that what I've been told over decades? Is anyone telling me that now? And if they're not, then I say, you know what? I guess I'm okay to share.
Let's talk.
Yeah,
right?
let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that giving yourself permission to be able to share, and I know personally opening up and being more vulnerable, it's like deep in relationships. And the more that I talk openly about things that I've experienced, the more it's like, everybody else has gone through something. Everybody has something, right? And small amounts, lots of it. Like it's just everybody has something to share, and it all matters. And it's important for everybody to realize that their story does.
People
matter.
need to know that.
Yeah.
People need to know they matter. People need to know there's no competition. So there's no level of trauma that they have to meet before they're allowed to have feelings about it. They're allowed to just feel, just experience, move through that experience, and bring that to somebody who they feel safe with. And I think that it is interesting because things have shifted so much, even in the past 5 or 6 years with mental health. Now we're talking to each other and we're sharing, and the more we share, the less scary it gets.
Right, and I think that it's important to remember that those little moments matter, and that how you show up, whether it be a smile, that smile could change somebody's life. And so I just really appreciate you joining us today and smiling with us, sharing your story, and I just really appreciate that.